I get it that times are tough and that it's sometimes hard to get good help, but really, can't you put a little bit more effort into making your RV sites more appealing? You'll get to see our crappy campsite when we stop for the night. But first, let's get out of Eugene, Oregon, where we left off in our last video. We had just spent 2 comfortable nights at Coach Glass, RV Glass Solutions, in Coburg, which is just a few miles north of Eugene, after having Monty's windows checked after a complete replacement 3 months earlier. But it was time to leave now. So as we leave, something to tell you about. We didn't mention this before, but when we were coming up to Eugene, we had some problems with Monty's fridge. Basically, it stopped working on propane, but it would work fine on electrical. So as much as we like boondocking, to get home, we need to stop at places where we have power. We thought on our way out of Coburg that we would check in with Camping World to see what they thought. Now, I'm kind of scared of Camping World after hearing all the reviews, but this one in Coburg was pretty good. They took us in quickly, and after an hour or so of assessment, they determined that the motherboard in the refrigerator was shot and that a princely sum of about $1,200 US, we could have it fixed. No thanks. Time to get a new fridge. Monty's 27 years old now, and that's the original Norcold fridge. Let's just get home on electrical and we'll research it and get a new fridge for Monty. Just crystal clear.
Well, it's the way the sun is, I'm sure.
Well, we're here at our private campground in Washington State. The pickings were pretty slim, and so this is it. Now, I'm going to take you in the way we went out in reverse. In other words, we shouldn't really have gone in. Michaela didn't mind it, and it looks quite nice when I look at it now, but it just kind of gave me the creeps. It was one of those campgrounds where I felt that if you let your kids or your grandkids go for a little play out onto the street, you'd never see them again. But hey, there's water, there's sewer, and there's 50 amp electric. So what am I complaining about, right? And it was only $100 Canadian to stay here, so it's okay, right? And as for the table, just bring your own scraper. What's the problem with that? Okay, a little over dramatic, but you gotta admit, pretty crappy. Let's leave. This is gorgeous. Holy cow.
Christian Center. Yeah. Whoa, don't want to drop the wheel down this one either.
No.
It's wider though. The lanes are wider.
Not crappy. Now this is happy. Now, I bet a lot of you are saying, hey, this looks just like the park you were in last night. I don't know what your problem was. Well, no, this one had a better feel to it, and there were no lost children. Now, today is going to be another short day, just a couple of hours. We're going to cross over the Hood Canal to the Olympic Peninsula and travel to a place on the Strait of Juan de Fuca called Squim. So sit back and relax on this short trip, and we'll check in with you once we get to Squim. Now, before we get going, wait a minute. Let's freeze this. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm slowly working you guys towards Canada. I'm taking you to our home, folks. Now, look, we've spent all this time in the United States. The least you can do is come into Canada and see where we live, just for a little glimpse. Okay? After driving only a couple of hours from Paulsbo, we arrive at the Seven Cedars Casino just outside of Squim. Now, this is an amazing place. Not only is it beautiful, it's a fantastic structure with a hotel, casino, beautifully kept grounds. They offer an RV park in the back. It's pretty barren, as you can see. It's quite new, but it's really a great place to stop for the night before boarding the ferry the next day to Victoria. And get this, they offer 50 amp electrical and water free. So the whole stay is free. And they offer shuttle service to back and forth to the casino. Now, come on, that's a pretty good deal. That's a very happy deal, not a crappy situation. We've come a long way from that crappy campsite, don't you think?
It's that one right there, isn't it? Yeah, it's that one right there. Don't get too close to the services though, because that's where it starts sloping off.
Yes.
Go around it and come back.
So over here it says 20, RV 21. Isn't it funny how you can play around forever when things are free? But we finally chose a site. It looks like somebody turned the lights out, doesn't it? Well, it's early, 6:30 in the morning, late April 2024. We're on our way from Squim to the Port Angeles ferry that will take us to Victoria. We're heading into Canada today, folks. We're going to cross the US-Canada border by ferry. It's about a 2-hour ferry trip, covering only about 27 miles, and we'll land in Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, and it's our home. So buckle up. Let's make our way around the perimeter of this RV park, back onto the main highway, and we'll head for Port Angeles. This is Michaela in Lola following me in Maudie because we always separate the two when we travel on the ferry. It's really tricky to go onto a ferry with a tow bar and a tow car. If you have to back up while you're on the ferry, you're really in trouble. And also, sometimes there can be a difference between the deck of the ferry and the landing ramp, and you could bottom out. Just better to separate your tow car from your main vehicle. Okay, we're partway there. This is the Port Angeles Ferry Terminal. This is the Black Ball Ferry. It's owned by an American company. This is not a Canadian ferry system. Damn little Fiat, they'll cut you off anywhere. No, that's Michaela.
And go ahead, lane 8 behind the trailer straight ahead.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud. Thank you. Oh, you bet. You're welcome. Thank you. Just reliving all of this. Do Canadians say thank you all the time? I think it's too much. Okay, we made it onto the ferry. Let's go upstairs, enjoy the ferry trip across to Victoria, and we'll see you on the Canadian side.
Please do not return to your vehicles until we arrive at our destination. The coho is equipped with life rafts, rescue boats, and marine evacuation chutes, which are located.
I know, not the most exciting indoor pictures, but you get the idea. I think it's time to unload. Let's go down below. Hi! Shall I shut off the engine? That's okay. It's a. It's my wife's in a tow car. Somewhere in this lineup. We're coming from Mexico. Down Sonora, San Carlos. First week of January. My wife just let me know. Mexican vanilla, about $100 worth. Mexican soap, $100 worth. A t-shirt. That's it. No. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Well, folks, I promised to sneak you in and give you a little glimpse of Canada. Here we are in Victoria. This is the capital of British Columbia on Vancouver Island. We're going to drive through town for just a few minutes, and then we'll be on a main highway for about 30 kilometers, so say 18 miles, to a little seaside town of Sydney, where we live. So it's really a suburb of Victoria. But don't let the townspeople of Sydney hear me say that. Thanks for being with us. See you next Saturday.